Hi, I'm Todd Languell, the Flying Furniture Guy from R&D Woodshop in Scotia, New York. Today I want to show you how to completely strip paint from wood. Today I want to show you how to use the paste stripper and a heat gun. We're going to use one drawer with just the paste stripper so you can see how the paste stripper works on just the drawer. And then I'm going to use a heat gun on one side and then use the paste stripper so you can see how fast the heat gun can take the paint off wood. So what we like to do, we'll get the paste stripper. I like to use a Czar paste stripper or a Dad's paste stripper. Make sure you have a well-ventilated area or you wear a canister-style mask with this. So you simply need to just brush it on. And the idea behind paste stripper is that you just leave it. That's how the paste stripper works the best, is by just leaving it alone and letting it do its job. So you need to completely cover the entire thing and give it a chance to do its job. Most people, they get impatient and they want to check it and they want to move the paste stripper around, and that's not the idea behind this paste stripper. This stripper just needs to set in place and be allowed to do its job and work. This typically takes about 15 to 20 minutes. If you see it start to bubble up, it's doing its job, but if it starts to dry out, you need to make sure to add a little bit more stripper to it as you go. Now on the other side of the house, I just want to use a heat gun. A couple key points. I've had this scraper almost 20 years. You want a very dull stripper or a very dull scraper, and you want something to be able to scrape it clean as you go. Scraping it clean as you go is the key point, and having a very dull scraper, because what you're going to do is you're going to heat up this wood and it's going to get very soft. Once you get it heated up, what you're going to do is you're going to work from one side, pushing across. You're going to want to keep that heat gun going in one direction. Typically you want to go with the grain when you're doing a heat gun. Although when I start myself, I like to go sideways just at the beginning because it allows to have a spot to work from. So once you see it start to bubble, you wait for it and you wait, and it'll just start to pull itself right off. The idea behind this is that you're trying to persuade the paint to come off. Another key point is to make sure that you have even pressure across the scraper. If you start to press any harder on one side than the other, you can gouge this very, very easily. Another thing is to remember is watch for smoke. If you start getting a lot of smoke, you're getting it too hot. And you need to move a little faster. You wait for a second, see it start to bubble, and at that time start to give yourself the little push that you need, and just keep pushing. Nice and even, steady flow, and it'll bubble up in front of you as you go along. Okay, you do want some type of a protective glove when you use the paste stripper, whether it's a larger style or a thicker glove. That would probably be best. These work okay, but they're not good for just soaking in the stripper. So after just 2 applications and maybe 5 to 8 minutes with the heat gun on that side, we're going to test this side and see if it's ready to go. And that'll tell you whether it's ready to go. If you can just lift it up and start to push it off, it's definitely ready to go. You can see as we catch it sliding off the table, it all depends on what type of a mess you want to work with. You can see, relatively speaking, between the stripper and a heat gun, you're almost at the same starting spot now. Now with the stripper, what we can do is you add a little on steel wool. And the steel wool that you're going to use is a grade 3 or 2. It comes in what's called aughts, which is 4 zeros, 3 zeros, or a grade. We like grade 3 because it's a nice coarse steel wool. You rub it on. Get it to that point where you can get it clean. You can use 120 grit sandpaper. Once it's dry, it's good to go. You can go ahead and start sanding. Now you can use an orbital sander on something like this because it's all flat, but you got to remember what you do to one piece you have to do to the other. So if an orbital goes and takes it too far down, you're going to have to take all the rest of the furniture down as well with it. But if you want to hand sand it a little bit, like I like to do, then you can get a nice even coat all the way nice and around of sanding. And you can give the attention to detail areas a little bit easier sometimes with your hand than you can with an orbital. Okay, you can see that just paste stripper or using the heat gun and then the paste stripper and then sanding it is practically the same. And that's the point that I wanted to show you all today, is that it doesn't matter which application that you want to apply, just take your time with it and you'll have the same results. I'm Todd Languell, the Flying Furniture Guy from R&D Woodshop in Scotia, New York. If you have any other questions, check out my website, theflyingfurnitureguide.com. I'll be happy to answer all your questions.